good, guys? My name is Oleg Nikitin and you're watching No Limits On, and today we're having a big review of this monitor, Portkeys LH5H, and we'll compare it to Atomos Ninja 5 or V. So let's go. So guys, this monitor is made in China, and that is why it's plasticky and it feels much more cheaper. It is actually cheaper than the Atomos Ninja 5, and you feel this cheapness throughout the entire usage of this monitor. That is why, you know, guys, I prefer the build quality of Atomos, but if we consider the price, this is a good choice. So let's go inside, get deeper, and we'll find out everything we need to know about it. Let's start out with the pricing. This monitor costs around 300 bucks, and it's a pretty nice price, but you have to buy the separate cable to manage your camera, to have the remote control over your camera through the monitor itself. The Atomos Ninja 5 is a recorder, so it's not a straight comparison, but Atomos provides us with Atomos Shinobi, which is the monitor only, you know, and it costs around the same, around 330 bucks. So it's kind of a more straight comparison, but the Shinobi is very limited in terms of, you know, controlling your camera. That is why the Portkeys is a good option for the Z-Cam users, because the Z-Cam has some, you know, fiddly buttons, and it's all kind of, you know, it takes more time than using a monitor, but we'll find out. So guys, these are 1080p monitors. They're both 1080p, and they can both get the 4K signal, no doubt, but this is the 1000 nit monitor, the Atomos, and the Portkeys is a 1700 or 1700 nits, which is much brighter, almost 2 times brighter. But here's the test we did outside at minus 19 Celsius, and we were completely frozen, guys. And you know, I don't see a dramatic difference. So for me, 1000 nit on the Atomos is more than enough, and 1700 nits on this Portkeys monitors doesn't make, you know, a big difference. So it's not a thing to consider if you choose between those two or between the Portkeys and the Atomos Shinobi. And now about the batteries. Both monitors take the NPF series Sony type batteries, but the Atomos Ninja 5 has no issues with any batteries, third-party batteries and all that stuff. But the Portkeys has a very small slot for the batteries, and we tried around 5 or maybe 6 batteries, and each and every one we had to push it with, you know, strength hardly inside of this you know, slot, and we were able to break it. And considering the plastic construction, I don't think it's gonna be lasting for a long time. You'll be breaking it, I don't know, maybe in a year or 2 years, but still it's a very big disadvantage, at least for me, because during the shoot you don't want to, you know, push and pull the batteries inside. You just want to plug out, plug in, and you're good to go. It's not the case with this monitor. Look at this screenshot. Portkeys are going to discontinue this monitor and replace it with a monitor with metallic or aluminum body. It's a great addition, and also they're going to be adding the Bluetooth into this monitor. Maybe the cost will be rising a little bit, but I guess the manufacturer knows that it's a very cheap plastic and it's going to, you know, break one day, so it's gonna be replaced. It's gonna be called LH5P for power, I guess. So keep that in mind. I have a separate big review and comparison of Atomos Ninja 5 with small HD focus, here it is, and a small HD focus actually 1 as a monitor, but as a recorder, Atomos Ninja 5, also have a separate video right here, is a great choice, especially for Sony a7S III users. But I'll be talking about the Portkeys more, and just a small reference to Atomos Ninja 5, so let's go to the features of this Portkeys monitor. Now my assistant Andrew, we had a separate video, it's right here, he's trying to change the battery on the monitor, and you can see how tough it is to change it. So we'll switch it and we'll go back. So guys, now let's get into the menu. You simply tap the monitor in the middle, and here's the menu itself. Let's start with the firmware update. It updates through the USB, and we have the USB drive in the Portkeys case with the monitor. It has 4, I'm not sure about the word, knobs, switches, locks, 4 locks. And here we have the USB drive with some LUTs already pre-installed here, the power cable, and the protective screen cover, which is nice. And the case is of course made out of plastic. It's not the best one, but it's here and it's okay. So Now here we can change the volume level of your headphones. It has the headphones input and the HDMI out as well as the in. Then we have the LUTs, which we install through the USB. We have some pre-installed LUTs. We can install our own LUTs. Settings, English or Chinese language. We can make the system reset. We can change the fan, the middle, and the high. We're not sure about the overheating issues because we have 3 different modes of fan, but I think that the low is going to be okay, but maybe it can overheat and simply turn off, and then that is why we have some different modes. So if you care about the sound, you simply set it to low. Then we have the screen calibration. It's getting calibrated from the factory, and it can be toggled here or here. It's good that it's calibrated, and I think we should leave this like so it's turned on. Then we have our display flip mode, so we can make some flips, horizontal, V flip, OSD flip, and all that stuff. And here we can change the brightness, 10 different levels of brightness, like so. Let's set it to 5. Contrast ratio, chroma ratio, sharpness and tint of the monitor. And this is it. But the monitor itself and the functionality is pretty weird, and if you don't know how to use it, you will be messing around and you'll just not get into it. So if you swipe to the side, you'll get your different tools and assists, video assist tools actually, and if you swipe up and down, you can get some camera control settings and your like so focus, zoom and iris control if your camera supports it. So it's a pretty messy feeling about it, so you have to remember each and every way, and working with it is a little bit weird, at least for me. If we scroll to this side, we can now get to your video assist tools. You can actually push and hold at everyone, and you can replace it with the one you need, for instance RGB waveform. Why I'm saying waveform? And also when we go back, you can then push and drag to the side, and here is the settings of this specific thing. So we can toggle it on and off, then we can make it bigger, we can make it brighter, more transparent, we can put it to a different corner and all that stuff. So every single setting can be toggled on and off. Here we have 12 different slots for your video assist tools, and you can toggle them on and off and tweak them a little bit. I will not tell you about every single one of the video assist tools. They are almost the same and identical as the Atomos Ninja V, so you can watch the review and comparison with small HD focus of the Atomos Ninja V, and you'll get the point of each and every setting. So now we go to camera control settings. We hit the menu and we swipe up. Here we have the focus control. It's not working with not autofocus lenses, and then we swipe up again, and here we have the camera control settings. Here is the list of cameras. We have Blackmagic pocket cinema cameras, Sony's, Canon's, Panasonics. Here's the full list of functions and cameras that are supported by the Portkeys monitor. We stick to the Z cam. And here we have the focus. If we had the autofocus lenses, we could pull focus like so. The zoom, if we had a power zoom option of the lens. But we can change the iris, as you can see. The iris is changing. We can change the shutter. We can change the ISO values. We can change the resolution. It will be scrolling through the resolutions of the cameras, the FPS. 25. Also, we can change the variable frame rate. For instance, we can set it to 40 frames per second. We can change the white balance, 100 kelvins increments, and we can have our playback. So we can hit the menu from here. We can choose the function button, up and down arrow. We can hit the playback and 3 more function buttons on the Z cam. So it's very useful. And this is it for the Z cam. And now I'm going to be showing the Sony functionality of this monitor, so let's go. So guys, we have connected the Sony a7S III to the Portkeys monitor through the special cable for Sony cameras, and here we can choose the multi-Sony as our main source, and then we can use the zoom function. As you can see, the clear image zoom is working. Also, we can here toggle the rec button, and as you can see, it is recording right now. The AF on button is also working. If we have the defocused image and we hit this button, it's working like an AF on button. If we switch to photo mode, we can also hit the shutter button and make a picture. But actually this is it. We cannot use the iris, the ISO and the shutter buttons in any settings on the Sony cameras on a6300 and Sony a7S III, in USB mode, in different HDMI modes. It always does like this. It's just connecting to some USB drive or USB mode and it's not doing anything. And actually I didn't manage to connect the a6300 or the Sony a7S III, so the iris and ISO and shutter would be changing normally as on the Z cam. So that is why the Sony cameras are very limited. I saw some reviews online and this issue is just here. It's not going anywhere. Maybe one day with the firmware update we'll see the difference and the proper work of this cable, but right now it doesn't worth it. So guys, I have shown you the functions of this monitor, all the video assist tools, the remote control of the camera for the Z-Cam. It's a great solution, but now I'm going to be talking about the disadvantages of this monitor, and it has, you know, some disadvantages, and then we'll be talking about the advantages. And so let's go. The first disadvantage is that the display info is going to be turned on all the time from the camera to the monitor, and if you don't have this info, the remote control, this one is just useless. You cannot see the shutter, you cannot see the ISO, and you'll be blindly changing those values and it's just not working. So you have to leave it on the screen all the time. But here on Atomos Ninja V, I can just leave it like so, the clean signal, and I can see the picture better. The second disadvantage is the on-off switch. It's pretty flimsy and you can accidentally turn it on or off, but on the Atomos it's much more damped inside and you have to push it and hold it for around 3 to 4 to 5 seconds. So that is why I prefer the Atomos design in this term. The next disadvantage is the absence of any 3/4 of an inch or any mounting points to this monitor. On the Atomos I have 3/4 of an inch right here, and I have mounted the cold shoe mount, and actually I can use the monitor as a holder for my microphone or for my wireless Go system, but here I cannot mount anything to here. And also we have only one mounting point, and that is why we're not going to be able to mount the the cage on it, because the cage needs 2 points of contact, and if we mount a cage it will be wibbling wobbling all the way around, so it's not going to be holding the cage also. So no mounting points here, it's a big disadvantage for me. The next disadvantage is the mounting point itself. You can see it's wibbling wobbling all around, it's not dampened, it's not strong enough, so a big disadvantage for me also. You can simply break it down one day when you kind of hit it from the side. One more thing is a very cheap and flimsy plastic material. It feels very cheap, and I'm not satisfied with it at all. The brightness is 1700 nits, as they say, but actually I don't see a difference with Atomos Ninja V, which is 1000 nits, so maybe it's a little, a scam from our Chinese colleagues. I'm not sure about it, so that is why it's one more disadvantage to a Portkeys monitor. One more weird disadvantage is that the LUT changes the color of the menu of the camera. Now it's orange, as you can see, and then we go here, we toggle the LUT, and then it's getting pink. And I cannot read what's in this pink color. It's just not readable at all. And the same thing goes with the peaking. When you hit the peaking, we turn it on, you can see that all the numbers, all the settings are now also being peaked, and they have some weird color. Actually, if we turn it to green, it's gonna be green, but if we turn it to red, it's gonna be pink. You can live with it, of course, but it's just not for me. I don't know who likes this. Maybe some pretty little girls who love pink colors, but not for me. The battery is very tough to be placed inside the slot for the battery, and as you remember, the menu is very complicated and you have to watch a couple of YouTube videos and tutorials to even know how it works, because it's not intuitive at all. And the last disadvantage for this monitor is the weird zebra issue. As you can see, now the LUT is turned on, and if we go to the zebra setting and we turn this on, the LUT disables. And when we turn off the zebra, the LUT doesn't go back. we have to turn this on once again. So the zebras are actually very distracting and I'm not gonna be using it. Why are you doing so, guys? Is it necessary? Why is it like that? And now we're moving on to the advantages of this monitor. Maybe I said about them a little bit earlier, but we'll count all of the advantages once more. So it's getting calibrated from the factory and it's a pretty nice calibration. That's a big plus. You can control through the remote and the special cable different cameras from different manufacturers. It's a big plus. You can choose the fan speed and it's a good thing because if you record audio, you don't want this monitor to be spinning the fan full blast. We have the special case, we have the USB drive with the LUTs pre-installed in it and the charging cable. It's a pretty nice kit. The contrast ratio is 1 to 1000 or 1000 to 1. I don't remember exactly, but the brightness is okay. I don't really see the 1700 nits, but it's okay. I can see all the picture during the daylight, during the sunny day, and it's pretty okay for me. Here we have the HDMI in and out, so you can send your signal to your director's monitor or somewhere else, so it's a big bonus. One more advantage is that the cable, the remote control cable, is dampened. It's kind of inside of the monitor, it's deep inside of it, so you're not going to be, pulling it off or breaking the cable. And one more bonus is that you can use the physical buttons on top if you wear gloves like we did, minus 19 Celsius by the way. You can reassign those buttons, you can change the function buttons, so it's a big bonus. Well guys, the conclusion. This monitor is okay. 1700 nits, I'm not sure if it's true. The functionality and usability, so-so. I prefer the Atomos Ninja V because I own it and because it's just more reliable and simple to use. It's more intuitive to use. And this monitor is a little flimsy. My colleague Andrei was curious about this monitor and wanted to buy this one for his Zcam E2, this one. But after the news that Portkeys is going to be selling the metal version of this monitor, he is considering buying that one or Atomos Shinobi as a replacement for his old Sony monitor. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. Is it functional? It is. It's flimsy? Yes, it is. And is it kind of complicated? Yes, it is. But we have some, remote control features, and if you have the Zcam, it's a great choice. Maybe if it comes in a metal aluminum body, it would be even better. And here is why the question of the episode. Which one do you prefer, or maybe you prefer a different monitor? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, if you did like the content on my channel, and we have two channels, the Russian one and the English one, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and the notifications bell, and consider continuing watching my videos. I really enjoy using the different tools and showing it to you guys and to share my knowledge with you. This was Oleg Nikitin and No Limit Son and my tech kitchen, by the way. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye. Take care.